So we're back with another vlog type of video, and today I'm gonna tell you why you should shoot a manual lens, vintage or any manual lens, and why it makes you a better photographer. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again. So today we're talking about vintage lenses and why they make you a better photographer. Long story short, I recently bought a Helios 44mm 58mm f2 from an antique shop for 20 quid, and I bought a KFC concept adapter that I can mount this vintage lens onto my Fujifilm X-T4. When you're shooting with a manual lens, you're definitely gonna slow down your process. You don't have any autofocus anymore or any tag which will support your focus system. So in this case, you're definitely gonna slow down your process, which will benefit your image. But let me explain. The difference between vintage lenses and autofocus lenses is, of course, the autofocus, guys. Stupid point in it. However, if using a manual lens, you're gonna definitely slow down because you need to set your focus by yourself. And in this moment, when you slow down, you will realize and you will pay attention to your framing, if your lighting is right, which f-stop should you use. There's so many points, so many aspect points which go into an image. But here comes also the point, long-term consistency. I appreciate and we all love a good autofocus lens. It's easy, it's fast, it's reliable. However, if you spend a bit of time with a manual lens, you will see how over time your consistency will improve because of you slow down. You pay attention to a lot of things, your framing, your lighting, your f-stop. Therefore, long-term thinking and consistency is definitely a point which will improve as well with a manual lens. So, having a manual lens is, in my personal opinion, quite a lot of fun to shoot with. But before we're diving into it, let me give you my 2 tips to make sure that you don't have any issues when using a manual lens. First, you need to dive into the menu, go to your manual focus assist and set it to peak. This means basically that you get red lines around your focus, and this indicates you where your focus is set when you turn the focus ring. Second of all is also make sure that in the menus the shoot without lens is set to on, because you don't have any electric connections anymore between the lens adapter and your camera. Therefore the camera won't take a picture if this is not set to on. So those 2 settings, switch them on and you definitely won't have any issues using a manual lens. There are a couple of reasons why I shoot with an old vintage lens. A, they are very cheap to get, like you literally go to your next antique shop and you get a variation of vintage lenses for as little as £5, £10. I paid for the Helios 58mm f2 20 quid. The adapter did cost me 20 quid as well, and I'm gonna leave the adapter down in the comments so you can check it out, which adapter I use to connect the Helios 58mm f2 onto my Fujifilm camera. And yeah, in general, I think a manual lens is unique, or a vintage lens is unique. It gives you a different feel to the image because the lens got a certain age already. The lens got different manufactured, so your bokeh or your background blur will be different to modern lenses. It's just fun to shoot with it because you need to engage with your camera way more than with the autofocus lens. A little downside to an old vintage lens is they do lack a bit of sharpness and contrast, wide open, which is improving when you step down towards f4, 5.6. But in general, it is quite fun. I wouldn't use this lens on a professional shoot, or if you would do paid client work, if they don't look for a certain old school or vintage feel in their images. Otherwise, there's nothing wrong shooting with a manual lens or with a vintage lens sometimes. So with that said, guys, I hope you gonna give it a go, try it out. It's quite fun to shoot with. And literally just pop to your next antique shop, have a look what they got. Lenses are cheap, the adapters are cheap, they cost around 20 quid, you can't do anything wrong, and it will be a big learning process for you guys as well. And you're gonna see how your images will be improving over time or when you use a manual lens. And with that said, guys, I hope this video was fun to watch for you and you learned something today. And if you did, hit the thumbs up button, like, comment and subscribe, and I'm gonna see you, my friend, very soon in another video. Cheers, guys.